Welcome to the Turd Nerds. We are the functional gastroenterology podcast discussing all things poop. Before we take the plunge into today's episode, let us tell you a bit about ourselves. I'm Dr. Rebecca Sand, a naturopathic physician and acupuncturist, and I specialize in all things gastroenterology, hormones, and fertility.
I'm Dr. Ami Kapadia, and I'm a medical doctor trained in family medicine and functional medicine with a special interest in gastrointestinal health, food and environmental allergies, and autoimmune disease.
And I'm Dr. Lana Gurvich, a naturopathic physician and acupuncturist who is board certified in naturopathic gastroenterology. I specialize in inflammatory bowel disease, IBS, and other functional digestive disorders. Let's jump into today's episode.
The following discussion is for educational purposes only and not intended to diagnose or treat any diseases or conditions. Please consult your doctor before incorporating any of this information into your care. The information presented on this podcast is not medical advice.
Welcome back, turds. We are going again. We are jumping into affecting the microbiome, how we do it with diet.
Yep.
Dr. Sand did a little bit hint that there's a prebiotic component.
There
to
might
this
be some
conversation.
improvement possible
Yeah.
from the nightmare that we discussed on the last episode.
Yeah. And we get to have a lot of discussion on this because I think we all use all of these things, so we can kind of see how it's working clinically. But this is a part 2. So be sure to go back and listen to part 1 on metabolism and the microbiome, because that is all the important foundations that you need to have this discussion.
And that one was I have to say, I've sat through a lot of them. I dare say all of them. That was a burly one. There's a lot of stuff in there.
The last episode?
Yeah,
literally
I have sat through all of them.
painstakingly.
I committed.
Yeah. So anyway, let's talk about how we correct imbalances that we know can lead to metabolic dysfunction in people. So basically anything that involves what we covered in part 1. So if people have SIBO, if people have dysbiosis, if people have especially those bugs that we know cause inflammation, don't miss that. And your folks that are struggling with insulin resistance.
Can we just assume that they have that?
Yeah.
Right?
I would.
I would too.
Yeah, it's sort of like how many things
together.
can we address at once?
Yeah.
But I mean, the reason we're all here is we know that if we start with the gut, we get so much better traction in everything else. We get nutrients in more effectively. If we're recommending supplements or even medications, I have a lot more confidence they're getting in if their gut is working.
Hippocrates was right. It all starts in the gut.
And he knew some things.
He knew some
I don't know.
things. I don't know what he knew, but he knew some things.
The other imbalance, in addition to dysbiosis that we want to talk about, is that bile acid malabsorption.
Okay.
So that's
I believe I'm going to mark it right now.
Yep.
I believe that's going to be the next big thing.
Yeah.
Is the bile acid.
Is there a new drug coming out?
Well, when at the Gastro AMP, everybody's favorite conference, there was a talk by Thanabiotic about how it really comes down to the bile acids and breaking them down.
Yep.
So
For
I do think
absorption.
For everything absorption, for
everything.
mood, for health, for longevity.
And then it directly goes in and stimulates how we regulate glucose and insulin.
Bile acids do.
Yeah. Yep.
I think bile acids. I'm going to say it's going to be our next big thing that it's going to have. It's about to have its 15 minutes of fame.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's deserved. It's like it's like a very direct way that the liver, gallbladder, pancreas, and our gut and our microbiome interact. And that basically feeds to everything.
So what do we know? Keep talking.
Well, the last thing I want to say is on this correct imbalances piece is we want to look at diet, we want to look at movement, we want to look at environmental exposure.
We never talk about that
totally
stuff.
New topic
that
there.
Matter.
Cut out the
sleep stress. Cut out the
water.
Slurpees. My niece keeps going to 7-Eleven and getting Slurpees.
The younger one or the older one?
Both of them.
Let's make sure they don't tell my kids know that Slurpees exist.
7-Eleven?
Everywhere.
Near their condo.
Yeah, we live in a little bubble. I don't know if you knew. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, there's one.
When I lived in China, I used to go to 7-Eleven every day for breakfast.
Oh my! But is it real food, right? Because in Japan they have real food.
It was these homemade steamed buns that were like cornmeal on the outside, and then it had little baby shrimp and noodles and cabbage.
That does sound really
good. And it was warm, and I would eat it on my way to the bus in the morning.
That sounds great.
Magic.
And the bus was very crowded.
It was a work bus. So a lot of I had a 2-hour commute both ways to work.
Whoa. Both ways, 2 hours there, 2 hours back.
What did you do?
Whoa.
Work.
On the computer?
Yeah. Yeah. I was doing research then. So I was doing a lot of manuscript editing, and I didn't necessarily need Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
But I would just sit in the back and work on my computer. But a lot of companies will make buses for their employees to.
Whoa. But that wasn't considered your work hours. That 2-hour commute was not considered work hours.
It's a big city, Beijing. large. And it was longer to take like the subway.
Whoa.
Which is wild. Anyway.
Okay.
Anyway. So let's talk about probiotics. So we're going to kind of chunk this into probiotics and prebiotics because if you want more information on bile acid malabsorption, we have a whole episode on that for you.
One.
At least one.
I think one. At least one.
And the exocrine pancreatic insufficiency.
That's another. Yeah. Actually, those are on our top 10.
Yeah, I mean, again, back to your point, having a moment.
It's having a moment.
It has helped so many of my patients to address bile acid malabsorption.
And how many doctors to even know that it exists?
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. And the weird drugs that have been on the market forever.
Cholestyramine.
That's one of those. Yeah.
Disgusting.
But effective if it works.
You know, I don't know if I said this in the episode, but I had a teenage patient who told me that there's a Trader Joe's fruit drink. It's like full of sugar and whatever, but it's like mango, pineapple or something that completely masks the taste.
I think you did say that in the episode.
Yeah. So especially for like my younger folks that just can't they haven't been through enough, you know, to drink all the bad stuff we'll probably put into them.
Yeah.
Hot tip.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, fix that. But let's do probiotics.
Okay, probiotics first.
Yeah. So several probiotic strains do have data behind them in supporting weight loss, metabolic conditions, and weight management. So the promising ones here, and we can go through like what the data show on that. Lactobacillus gasseri.
You mentioned that last episode.
Yep. And specifically, this one helps to reduce abdominal fat and body weight. So in the studies, participants who consumed a milk, and you can find recipes all over the internet to like make your own yogurt or kefir, or not kefir, but yogurt fermented with this strain, lost more abdominal adiposity than the controls. One study specifically lost 8.5% of their visceral fat over 12 weeks with this as the only intervention.
I mean, that's actually something.
Not bad.
I will say I have never seen it in clinical practice, but I don't know if I've tried this.
You know, I look to see about probiotics that contain this. And it's not easy.
Or is it in
to
yogurts?
find.
Is there yogurts that have it already that you can buy?
I looked up that too, and mostly what I was finding is you can buy your own like sachets of it to make your own.
That's too much work for it.
It's really not. I mean, it's not. Like I make yogurt all the time.
I know,
I mean, a lot of our folks with like UC and Crohn's will make their own.
Yeah.
It really
for the majority of us,
right.
Too much work.
I also just love yogurt. I love
we know
butter.
Yogurt and butter.
Do you make your own yogurt?
I have in the past.
Okay.
It doesn't take time.
No,
what do you
you
do?
can get a yogurt machine.
So the way you make a yogurt, I have a yogurt machine, or the Instant Pot also does it.
Yeah.
Okay,
is the most important thing is you boil or heat the yogurt to a temperature and then let it cool to be around
you mean the milk.
The milk, sorry.
Okay.
To let it cool to allow the fermentation to happen, and then just maintain that higher temperature to allow the bugs to reproduce. And your bugs could be either sachets of this or a different yogurt starter. Just mix it in, let it sit.
Yeah.
The only time is like boiling it and then bringing it back to temperature.
See, I think I overanalyzed it, and I was like, what if I buy the wrong strain and it gives me some weird problem? Like, of the 50 things in the store? This goes back to
food poisoning and like bacteria.
No, not that.
Just out of that is fermenting.
I know, it's really true.
Yeah, fermenting is the only thing that
bugs.
Yeah, I mean that's the only way we get out of our dysbiosis.
Right, but which sachet do you put in there?
The one that I was using, I used to use a Yoplait, but then for a while I was using Nancy's. Just a
you
quarter cup
used
of
the
Nancy's
old
yogurt.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, and that's what I did.
That
is I
seems
used
safer.
a quarter cup of the old yogurt.
And
yogurt.
That's what they do with
like literally do all of that for you.
Yeah.
I will also just say
push
that
buttons.
when I was making yogurt, I'm okay with dairy.
Yeah.
And I was doing half whole milk and half and half.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it was like ice cream. It was like
half and half in the yogurt.
And then thick cream on the top.
Oh my god, it was so.
Does that get fermented too? Though?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That sounds great.
It was. It still makes my mouth water. I haven't made it in a long time.
Yeah.
I did try for a lot of times to make it with vegan milk.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that. Coconut milk.
Yeah, I tried with coconut milk. Yeah. It doesn't get firm, so it's a very watery thing. So if you're expecting yogurt, you have to add gelatin or
and there's no protein in it then.
And there's no protein.
Yeah.
So that's my experience.
Yeah.
Is you have to add some solidifying thing if you want the solid.
What about adding
seaweed?
What about adding collagen?
Never done it.
Yeah, I've had patients because I lecture so much on protein for people, really specifically for insulin resistance and weight management. But people are adding collagen to all sorts of things like egg bakes and you know, it's not a complete protein, but it's a lot of amino acids. It's better than nothing.
Whey is a complete protein, but if you don't
Yeah.
tolerate, like my girlfriend, if she has whey, she will immediately take a nap. I've never seen anything like
Yeah,
it.
you've mentioned
It's
that.
very interesting.
I mean, it's processed, and if you have
Yeah.
a dairy sensitivity,
I mean, is it processed? Like when I was making cheese,
it's the part that comes
obviously,
out.
I did a lot of stuff before I had kids.
Yeah, what a farmer home
I mean,
center.
yes,
Yeah.
in my small, Northeast Portland house, the whey is what comes on
That's
top.
true.
And
I
the
don't know
curds
what
go
they
to the
use
bottom.
that traditionally for, though. Like, I don't think people were eating
I feel
whey
like in
protein powder.
Indian people, they use
The
whey.
whey?
Yeah.
I never saw my mom make anything with the whey, but I can ask.
I want to find out now.
Yogurt, though, like my grandmother, or maybe her mother, I don't know, they used to just put cow's milk
On the counter.
in the sun.
That is how I grew up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, to make yogurt?
Yeah. Or
Ah.
no, they used to make buttermilk.
Oh,
yeah,
gotcha.
yeah.
I think it was buttermilk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'd leave it on the sun until the film appeared.
Yeah.
And then
For buttermilk.
Yeah, sounds great.
I think most of the data on dairy that it's good is on fermented dairy and non-milk, but we're talking about fermented dairy, so.
Yeah. I wish there were better vegan options because a lot of people do have that dairy sensitivity.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I will also say, as somebody who has a dairy intolerant husband and child, the vegan cheeses
I'd
are
have to
just
get
like
divorced.
gums.
I
Yeah.
know.
You'd have to get divorced. That's your
I
solution.
don't.
Yeah,
I don't think I can
gonna hold it
digest
out.
those. Those like pizzas
Yeah, no,
that
I
are
cannot
gluten free
digest
and
them.
dairy free. Like
Yeah.
I think everyone I've ever eaten is still
Yeah,
lodged
yeah.
somewhere.
I'm with you. That's my
It is.
Yep.
Yeah. 3 chews in and ugh.
Yeah. And
Okay,
then you're
next
full.
probiotic
Okay,
on our list here. Lactobacillus rhamnosus.
Oh, that's a big one.
That's
an
a
old
big one,
favorite.
and that one is in a lot of things.
Everything.
Yeah.
But British Journal of Nutrition study in 2014 found that women who took it, and this was specifically females, who took this lost about 50% more weight than those on placebo over 3 months.
Huh.
My guess is it was part of like a comprehensive thing, but that was like
and
the
then
dividing.
you don't know the size of
total.
that study.
I don't.
Well, and
No.
was it like a 5-pound total loss or?
Right.
Yeah.
we'd have
But
to see.
still,
Yeah, it's something.
it did something.
Yeah.
You know, so be thinking about it, and that is in a lot
And
of probiotics.
for me, I'm like, I would think about it, especially if we're getting it through food sources. I
Yeah.
don't know if I'd add the pill.
Is
for
it in
sure.
food sources, rhamnosus?
Yeah, I think so. I think you can get
In yogurt?
You can get it.
That would be a
Fair
good business
question.
idea. Just make like yogurts with all of these different probiotic
I think
strains.
that is a business idea.
Is it? I mean,
I think people are
but
doing
no,
it.
like a company
Yeah.
that specializes in
GI support.
specific
No, for
fermented
metabolism.
yogurts.
Yeah. Bifidobacterium lactis has been shown to
Mhm.
reduce body mass index and total body fat in all genders, and may help to improve metabolic markers associated with obesity. Lactobacillus plantarum,
That's
Mhm.
another
which
old
we all
favorite.
Yeah.
use. Yep.
All of these are.
That one specifically, the study was a combination of dietary modifications, increased exercise, and supplementation of Lactobacillus plantarum.
and the control was not lactobacillus.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Interesting study.
And that was the metrics that were positive were body fat percentage and waist circumference, so abdominal fat. Last specific 2 strains, Lactobacillus fermentum,
I've never heard of that one.
me neither, and Lactobacillus amylovorus.
Never heard that one.
These, in a study in 2013, specifically was a 3 to 4% body fat reduction in 6 weeks as the only variable. So,
Excuse me, 3 to 4%.
yeah.
Yeah.
And we know a lot of our studies are have problematic data anyway, but
Yeah.
I think it's worth considering.
Yeah.
I think we all perhaps agree
Mhm.
that like giving pills of probiotics, get it from your food.
Yeah.
I don't buy it.
If you can make your own food, even better. But like
Yeah.
our bodies do better with diverse bugs, and these
Yeah.
are all healthy strains of bacteria.
Yeah.
And there's probiotics on all foods.
Yep.
Even if it's not fermented dairy.
Yeah, but the ferment, I feel
Right.
like
There
it's-
is something to the fermented foods, but
yeah,
it's
the-
also on all whole foods.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, my spiel is always, up until 100 years ago,
Yeah.
there was not a single culture in the whole world
Because they didn't have refrigerators.
that did not use
or-
fermentation as a
Yeah.
way to preserve food.
Yeah.
Like it was how
It's also delicious.
hundreds of thousands of years
You
we
do put
preserve
yogurt
foods.
on weird
I
foods.
put yogurt on I'm telling you
You
guys.
put it on the
I
fried
feel like every
rice.
time I leave here, I want to go make a smoothie with yogurt
Yeah.
and whey.
I love yogurt.
Yeah.
But I don't use like sweetened. It's like
No.
Oh no, you have to get
yogurt,
unsweetened
like-
yogurt.
Or I'll put
Yeah.
like cheese and stuff, but I like yogurt because it has
Cheese
protein.
in the yogurt?
No, cheese
Oh.
on everything.
Oh yeah.
I was like, that is disgusting.
Yeah, no,
No, I don't think it's just it's another layer. It's not disgusting. It's just
no,
another
I
layer.
love cheese. I love cheese. Okay, my favorite topic.
Psyllium. Is it psyllium?
Prebiotics.
Yeah.
Butter.
Yep. I mean, that's my. Okay, fair. How can we use prebiotics to support weight management, metabolism, and reduce disease? all sorts of disease. So prebiotics, just as a recap, we have episodes on prebiotics.
And probably we talk about prebiotics in every episode.
That's likely.
Yeah,
That's
do.
likely.
Yeah.
Yep. They are non-digestible food ingredients, which makes them sound grosser, I think, than they are.
Just makes them sound
Fiber.
processed, but they're not. They're actually not processed.
They promote the growth of our good, beneficial gut bacteria. So I think, I actually made notes. We dropped, our recent 2-parter on diet.
Oh, yeah.
We covered a ton on prebiotics.
Yeah.
So check those out, episodes 49 and 50. So how do these help with what we're talking about today in terms of metabolism? Prebiotics and fibers improve satiety.
Yes.
And prebiotic fiber consumption, in terms of the data, has been associated with increased feelings of fullness. So kind of helping to regulate those hunger cues that get off when we're looking at dysbiosis or inflammation, and reduce calorie intake overall.
So if, one of the things we're talking about is insulin and blood sugar.
Yep.
There is this influencer. She's a neurochemist PhD. She's called the Glucose Goddess.
Oh, yeah. She's
good.
She's
great.
Yeah.
But her whole
She's
thing...
French.
Is she?
Yeah.
She looks French.
Fairly
I
sure.
don't know if she might be.
Pretty sure she's French.
I don't know. I don't think she's Russian or Indian.
She's definitely not Indian.
Okay, so she talks about how one of the best ways to structure your
She's
diet.
French. Just want to say she's French.
So one of the best ways to structure your diet is fiber first, protein second, carbs last.
Yep.
But that will stabilize your blood sugar.
For sure.
Just that change. Like eating the same thing.
Greens specifically.
But greens,
as a fiber do magic.
Yep.
Yeah, she's got her hacks, I think. She
Yeah.
puts
Any
glucose hacks.
greens?
Yeah, starting your meal with greens, cooked, raw, whatever. But I think we all give continuous glucose monitors.
I love them. And there's now a direct-to-consumer one.
Right, and I think you
Yeah.
can use an FSA for it for people.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a recall.
I'm
on
going to
the
do it again in the next
threes,
new year.
Oh,
I
really?
think right now.
There's-
Or
I'm not-
inaccuracies?
I don't remember.
Okay.
But I'm doing a lot of the direct to consumer because you can get them for like $99 a month.
Yes.
Yep.
Which is excellent.
Yes, which is
Yeah.
excellent.
And it really
And I don't think you need a
individualizes-
prescription or anything.
No, you don't need a
Yeah.
prescription anymore.
You don't
yeah.
even need to order it.
Yeah, the
You can
patient
get
can
it
just
anywhere.
get it
Yeah.
and use their FSA.
They're
Yeah.
great. They're great.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that really can help you kind of understand what your body uniquely is
Needs.
doing with
Yeah.
the stuff you put in, or the meals you take, or the walks you take after meals, or
I did it
alcohol.
for a while last year. It's a little depressing.
Is it?
I mean,
Because
I have
you
a bit
learned
of an
lot?
obsessive personality.
Oh,
so
yeah, that's the danger of
That's
it.
fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Where I've really been leaning on it is for my folks that aren't really ready to get in touch with their alcohol consumption.
Oh.
And if you put one of those on,
Yeah,
especially
crash in the
because
night.
everyone wants to lose weight. Everyone is like hyper focused on that because we
Yeah.
teach women to do that. But
And men.
yeah, everyone. But if you put that on and then look at what that bottle of wine is doing to you,
Yes.
Or
it's
that,
very-
unfortunately, the
I don't
bowl
need
of
to talk
rice.
about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, bowl of rice compared to 2 bottles of wine in the evening, but
I mean, it's
Yeah.
that's
For
so
both.
funny because I will say I have lots of patients who are doing the CGMs and they're like, I was surprised alcohol did not do anything for my blood sugar.
Oh, maybe what kind was it?
A
Fermented,
very,
like a
very dry red wine.
Yeah. A
Yeah.
dry.
But also that if you want to drink and you're not ready to let go of that,
Yep.
that's a very efficient way to be like, okay, this is how I'm hacking my body.
totally.
I love it.
Yeah, and it gives people data in real time, and
Yeah.
So anyway, prebiotics before meals does wonders for regulating things. And for my folks that are like going out to eat with friends, that's when I'll tell them to put psyllium husk capsules in their bag
Oh, what a good hack, Dr. Sam.
and take it with those meals if you're going out for pizza with your
Yeah.
friends, or even if you're going to have this is my latest one that is maybe a little bit weird, maybe not to you guys,
Okay.
but if people are going to go get like ice cream or dessert with people, I'll
Uh-huh.
have them make some tea and put collagen in it.
Oh, protein.
For
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
protein-ish with it, and then do psyllium husk beforehand.
That's a
So-
great hack.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want people skimping out on food that they enjoy
Yeah.
and being social with it. That's
Yeah.
really important. But for people who are really struggling with blood sugar issues,
So they take the psyllium capsules right before they start eating?
yep, and then have
With, like,
protein
eight
with
ounces
the
of water?
sugar. Have protein with the sugar,
Yeah.
and no one's gonna have like beef jerky with their ice cream. It's disgusting, but
Right.
something to kind of help mitigate
Yeah.
the effects of that.
Yeah, it's a
Like
good idea.
like a half a cup of Greek yogurt, maybe.
You could have that with like that cake pie thing
Yeah.
you made that almost you tried to kill us with.
It was a high protein vegan cheesecake. It was literally the whole thing was made out of nuts. It was a nut crust. It was nut cashew. I mean,
You can't eat just half a pie. You got it. We couldn't handle it. We
the
had to give
whole
it back.
it was about as paleo of a dessert as I could possibly bring. The whole thing was protein, and yet they still returned it. So now it's still sitting in my freezer.
It is.
I just
what?
I don't eat.
We would have eaten it in 2 days. That's why I had to give it back. My husband said it was like leaving a pack of cigarettes on the counter.
Oh, that's amazing. Okay, back to the topic here. So,
Are you making it again this year? Sorry.
I think I'm gonna make a paleo Twix
we've got a
bar.
problem.
Okay.
I
We've
think
got
I'm
a
gonna make a
problem
paleo
over
Twix bar.
here.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so prebiotics fibers improve satiety and reduce caloric intake overall for most
That
people.
makes perfect sense.
It also improves glucose metabolism. So prebiotics, there are data showing that they help improve insulin sensitivity and glucose homeostasis.
Okay.
So that's cool. And then back to the hormones, prebiotics can actually enhance production of satiety hormones. So specifically, it's been shown to increase the production of what makes us feel full, such as GLP-1.
I knew there was no way we were going to have this
Okay,
conversation
what
without
fiber does
GLP-1s.
that?
Yeah.
Prebiotics?
Prebiotics.
Okay.
So a natural way.
To boost your GLP-1, which
Yep.
is a receptor in the GI.
Yep, and that's what
Yes.
Ozempic, semaglutide, all of those,
Tirzepatide.
tirzepatide are doing. And peptide YY, PYY, which is a hormone produced in the gut that helps control appetite. And interestingly, this was really new to me and fun, regulates the balance of fungi in the digestive tract.
That
What
also
does,
makes
Rebecca?
sense.
The
prebiotics.
peptide YY. So
Where
it's a
does that
hormone
come from?
produced in the gut. So fibers will help to
Fiber.
promote
Fiber.
peptide YY,
Okay.
which helps to control our appetite control and balance fungi.
Maybe other microorganisms
So
too.
yeah, I mean the data.
I mean, that does make good sense.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you know, people who have blood sugar dysregulation are more predisposed to having fungi as
Yeah.
an issue in the intestines
Right.
or wherever.
Because of
Yep,
high
yep,
blood
yep.
sugars.
Yeah. So you know, to kind of mitigate all of that,
Yeah.
fiber. We need to
That
get
makes
people
perfect
eating
sense.
fiber.
Eat
Yeah.
more fiber.
Prebiotics also reduce inflammation. And then fiber can also act as a binder, as I think you mentioned in our last episode.
Interhepatic circulation.
Yep, yep, yep.
Interrupter.
Yep, for harmful chemicals, for the toxins released by whatever treatments we're putting people on, for
Yeah.
bacteria, yeast toxins, waste products, and more. So I would say, like, more we can get people eating diets that are well-rounded. Including fermented foods,
Yeah.
which is so tricky with our histamine folks. That's like my
Yeah.
biggest.
They might be okay on certain ones and not other ones,
And
you
I have them
know?
go
And they
so
make-
slow.
They make strains that are like more suitable. So
Yeah,
you can, you know,
plantarum.
And I think that also you can get more histamine food if you put people on medications to regulate the histamine.
for sure. Use the tools.
Yeah, and then that leads to biodiversity, and it's not right. It's not for everybody.
No.
It's not for
And back to
everybody.
the microbiome, like a lot of the bugs that we find are histamine producers.
Yes.
So if we can eradicate that overgrowth,
not eradicate, regulate,
rebalance.
harmonize. I don't want to eradicate.
well, eradicate the overgrowth.
Mhm. I'll go with that. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't want to get rid of anything. I mean, we can't.
Reestablish a normal
we can't do that.
microbial
Yes.
ecology.
Yeah, healthy,
Like in our
healthy,
environment.
balanced.
Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah, that can really help too. So the only other thing that I want to say on this topic is our detox pathways.
So important.
Yes, which we've talked about quite a bit too. But I
Yeah.
think when we're having any discussion about metabolism, like our poor liver
Yeah.
Our poor
and our
Liver.
kidneys.
Can
like,
I just tell a story?
skin.
So I
Yeah.
just got a text
Skin.
from my favorite compounding pharmacist, right?
Yeah.
And she's also my girlfriend. But she was like, is it common for somebody to treat SIBO and get a rash? That was the question. And I was like, well, did they treat with herbs? Did they treat with antimicrobial or
Yeah.
antibiotics? What did they treat with?
Do they go to the bathroom? Do they
And
sweat?
so she said herbs.
Was it
She
an
said-
abdominal rash?
It was a systemic rash.
Ah.
And she said herbs. They treated with herbs. And I was like, it's not common, but it's not
Yeah.
unheard of. And I told her the story of the first time I ever did a liver cleanse. I was at like a second year student at school, and I'm in naturopathic school. Everybody does liver cleanses. And I took one pill of the liver detox pill, and I broke out into a histamine high V rash.
Was it
Really?
milk thistle?
It was a milk thistle based product with a bunch of other things.
Yeah.
But the one time I did a liver flush,
Huh.
I broke. I mean,
But you probably also had like raging liver chi stagnation. Was that really the time to do that?
point well taken. But I not point. Also, I had physicians as parents. I took antibiotics
Yeah,
nonstop. I was on a
yeah.
pharmaceutical
You
for my
probably
Crohn's
needed it,
disease.
but-
Like
Yeah.
there was a lot of things that caused that histamine rash, but it's
Yeah.
not unheard of.
Were you pooping?
It was before I stopped pooping. Yes, I was pooping great.
Because you got to make sure people are pooping before you
Yeah.
mess with the
I mean, they
liver.
could have just reacted to one of the herbs. They don't know what was in this mix of things, you know?
I,
like-
right? I don't
yeah.
know. Yeah, my answer is, but it's not unheard of
Right.
Yeah.
to be exposed. And like berberine is one of our big GLP-1
Yeah,
regulating
totally.
herbs.
Yep.
It is not a surprise that they broke out into a
Yeah.
histamine rash.
Yeah.
It's not common. It's not common.
Yeah.
But it's not unheard of.
Yeah, detoxification will appear on the skin. I think
Yeah.
that's sort of what we're getting at here. It's a route out. It's a way
Yeah.
for the body to kind of dispel toxins and process
And
stuff.
for some people who don't detox well,
Yeah.
sometimes all they can do is sweat.
Right.
And that is
Or
like
sometimes
where
they
you
don't sweat at all.
Yeah, but I mean, like that is when
Yeah,
you
the one
start. That's
way.
like not a
Yeah,
bad place
for
to
the
start the
skin.
detox pathways.
Yeah,
Yeah,
saunas.
yeah.
Also
Infrared.
feel great. Yeah.
Yeah,
Exercise.
yeah.
Exercise works.
Have you been exercising?
No. No, and I tell people all
I'm such
day,
a
every
good.
day to
I'm
exercise.
such a good nagger.
I lift my kid who is now 26
Oh
pounds.
yeah.
So,
Over your head?
Something.
Or
I
just
do
for the-
actually
Oh,
over my
yeah.
head. Yeah. We'll move around, and I move my furniture a lot, as you.
Yeah,
both
I mean
know.
that is a thing. You walk into Dr. Sand's house and it's
Every time
in a
it's
new
different.
place.
Yeah,
It's true.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It is really
Spruces
fun.
things up.
Yeah, I'm like, I wonder what I'm gonna walk into now.
Yeah. So, but I think exercise is
Right,
hugely
try for a
important.
20-minute walk 5 times a week.
Yeah.
With the weighted vest. The weighted vest is my new thing.
Oh, do you like that?
I love it.
My
Okay,
child is
I
my
want to
weighted
try
vest.
it.
You gotta wear her then.
It doesn't hurt
I
your
do
neck.
sometimes.
It's you. So the one that I got, you can like.
You bought one.
I bought one.
Okay, along
Yeah,
with
you-
the milk frother.
Oh, there's a
Yeah, different
store.
purchases, but yes, yes.
All right, I want to get the links to both of those.
Yeah, I don't.
It just
So
sounds like torture to
the
me.
one that I
would just
got, and I
collapse.
just yesterday I wore it for like 3.5 miles.
Yeah.
The one that I got, it goes by 4-pound increments,
Uh huh.
and so I'm up to 32 pounds.
Okay.
40 pounds was too much, but I'm up to 32 pounds.
All right, I want to
It's
try
good
it
for axial
And then
loading.
it's really good for my
for
dog
bone density. It's good for your
You
dog.
put it
because
on your
he
dog?
because he needs to walk like long, or he's an a-hole if he doesn't walk.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to walk him either way. I might as well have the axial skeletal weight.
Are you
Yeah.
walking him every Saturday morning?
Yesterday we went 17,000 steps.
Wow.
should join
Yeah. I
Dogs
only
are good for
went
that.
3.5 miles with a weighted vest, and then the other
Yeah.
one was a hike.
In your
You need to
neighborhood?
stop working so much.
Yeah, like a mile and a
Okay.
half.
Do you
mile.
still-
Oh, I
do
should
you
come for
do-
that.
Oh yeah.
Do you do your lunch walks?
I try to. I try to run
That's
out,
great.
do whatever time.
Yeah.
Near my work, I have a small hill.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There's a coffee shop in the Target next door, so I try to do. Then I bring my cup in.
Nice.
I was getting too
No,
much of
yeah.
No toxins for this.
Too much of
lady.
the plat. No, I did it for a few months, Rebecca.
Oh.
Then I was like, "What am I doing?"
Oh no.
Anyway, so then I started bringing this.
Yeah.
Fill it up for me. They know
Yeah.
me over there. They actually know my name.
I think
And
honestly,
your order. More importantly, they know your order.
No, they don't.
Oh,
I
what?
I know, right? It's a decaf almond latte every time, hot.
Yeah. Every time.
now everyone knows your order.
Unfortunately, so I'm gonna give you props.
I've
for
been
bringing
wanting to
the
ask
cup.
them for
Yeah.
the sugar intake in the almond milk, but I'm
Don't,
too
don't.
embarrassed.
Okay, so you're bringing
It
your
doesn't
cup,
taste sweet, so I
Yes.
think I'm okay.
but you
But
know,
if anyone works there, you know what I'm talking about, and you know the sugar content in the almond milk per 8 ounces, I would like to know. But
don't tell her. She
I'm
doesn't
too
already know.
embarrassed.
you
to
can
ask.
definitely go
Okay,
for that.
but I will say you're
Alright.
still getting the plastic from the almond milk.
Yeah, but I mean, you can only go so
You
far.
can only go so
Lana.
far.
I
That's true.
buy almond milk by.
I would like to
large
say though,
quantities from the store.
for
Oh,
like,
there is one that comes in a paper, but it's probably lined. Go ahead.
for sure it's lined.
For sure, it's fine. It has to.
You
be.
can't get away from it.
No.
Bringing it back to our topic.
Okay.
Huh, who thought?
Walking though.
Yeah.
I think
Oh, yeah.
for metabolism.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, it's amazing.
Walking, especially
We
after
did.
meals.
We did. Like when we started, we have an episode on exercise in the microbiome
Yeah.
Yeah.
or exercise and digestion.
Yeah.
It's a big thing. You cannot deny.
But everyone, when they go to Europe and walk like 8 miles
They
a day,
feel
they don't
so
even
much better.
think about it.
I would-
Everyone
8 miles
loses
a
weight.
day?
yeah, for sure.
We
Really?
brought
For sure.
my mother, who is in her mid 70s. She's healthy, but she doesn't like exercise
Yeah.
much. But yeah,
She
we
was
walked
fine?
to like 8 miles a day
For sure.
because you don't even think about it. You're
Yeah.
seeing stuff, you're eating, you're stopping at cafes. You're looking. I mean, it's
Yeah.
amazing.
Do they sell more anatomically appropriate shoe wear in your European countries?
This has been a real study for me because
Okay.
in France specifically,
Because they walk a lot, and
they
here
have
the whole
beautiful
shoe
shoes,
industry.
and no, they're not.
they're
like-
not wide.
No,
So I wonder how their feet. And I'd have to go work there as a doctor for elderly people.
I don't
and
know.
Look at their feet.
but it's where I go shoe shopping, and they're beautiful, but I don't know that they're like.
They're not wide toe box.
They're
Okay.
definitely not white.
All right. 'Cause most of my patients comment on my shoes.
I'm
and where I
sure
got
there's a
them from.
movement over there, but I study people's fashion, and I have not.
It really is
I'm
hard
not
for
sure
me to
there's a
see.
movement over
Even children, look
I
at Karina's.
know.
My knees hurt. Little toes already go, and they don't care.
I
I'm like,
know.
look, I'm trying to save you from years of misery.
I
Lena.
had bunions in high school.
Did you?
Yeah.
It's like our whole shoe industry is
I
trying
know,
to kill
I know,
everyone.
it is. Like, and why can't you just make them a little bit wider?
It's like big shoe.
I know. Yeah, I had bunion surgery in high school.
You
Wow.
did?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, does that have to do with your microbiome?
Well, walking.
It
Okay.
could if you can't walk.
Okay.
But
But
I
if this
do-
big shoe is screwing you up from like a
Walking-
5-year-old age.
Yeah, walking is also good for the microbiome.
Uh-huh.
We know that.
Uh-huh.
And metabolism. So everybody, fiber,
Walk.
prebiotics, probiotics,
Walking.
walk. And
Yes.
maybe fix your gut.
Well,
Which
by
will happen by
doing
eating fiber and
prebiotics.
walking.
I don't know about probiotics. I think that it
Right,
has a
no,
role.
fiber, food-based fibers.
Yeah.
In your food.
Yeah.
Or psyllium, if you want.
Yeah. Okay. Great chat.
I think so. Yeah.
Anyone
Should we
wanna
do a
give
recap? Yeah. So I think we just gave a recap.
Yeah, I think we
Walk,
did too.
prebiotics, probiotics,
Yeah. Maybe ferment your own food.
ferment
if you
your
can,
food.
if you can tolerate
Yeah.
it. And if you can't
Quit
tolerate
your job so that when you're planning an outing with your friends, you can lay out a
Move
list
to
of
Europe.
items
Okay, wait,
to take with you to the restaurant to eat before the meal and then with the dessert. And then you can check your CGM when you get home.
There are
because you don't have
lines.
work the next day.
This
So
is
you
what I'm
just-
going to say. Fermenting your food does not actually take time. Like the bacteria takes its time.
It takes time to learn how to do it.
No, it doesn't. You don't do anything.
We should do a video workshop.
Oh, because now we have video.
Yeah, we should do a video
A
workshop.
cooking class? Turd nerds in the kitchen?
Yeah, like the
We
bean
need
process.
to
the bean-
rebrand our
You don't want
name.
me in the
Yeah.
kitchen.
You
don't
want me in the kitchen.
That's true.
I'm making progress.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. You want me and my husband, I think. You want us in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, anytime. I'll eat all your food all
Yeah,
day.
great.
Yeah. I'll just put yogurt on it.
I will say, I'm the stage of life that my kids are in. Like on Friday night, my husband made this incredibly, like, he brined this chicken for 2 days. It was just delicious chicken. I made this amazing tomato bean soup. It was so good.
What kind of beans?
Navy white beans. So you can't have it.
All right.
It's those beans I tried.
But
to
maybe
ferment.
pinto.
Very, I'm gonna try.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try. My kids were like, "Ugh, this sucks. It doesn't
Really?
taste good." I'm like, I don't want to cook for you, a-holes. You know, like I'm not gonna feed you the garbage that I could feed you that
Yeah.
I ate.
Yeah.
But I also would like a little bit of gratitude.
Yeah.
I saw this meme
That
on the
sucks.
internet the other day. I sent to a bunch of my friends. It was like a sonogram picture of like
Uh-huh.
a baby, and it said like throwback to when my kids actually ate what I made for them
Oh, yeah.
in utero. I
Very,
was like,
very
yeah,
appropriate.
Yeah.
Until they're like 25 or 30.
No,
and then,
until they're like, yeah, then they want to
then
go
they
back
want to
again.
eat it,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because then they
That's
want to care about how they look and
At
their
least,
health.
at least your kids don't throw it on the ground.
No, but they
She's
did.
only like 2,
I
Rebecca.
know,
They
I
did.
know, but
It's not because of the taste. It's
no,
'cause
for sure.
she's
not.
I
having
will-
fun.
No, she just likes grabbing.
Having the
Yeah.
dog,
Yeah.
I will say I missed
dogs
that window.
are the best. Yeah. It really
Wait,
helps.
you missed that window. Of
Yeah,
what?
when they were throwing it on the ground,
They'll
and
eat
the
your
dog
food.
could like clean it
Oh,
up.
but now you have a dog again.
Yeah.
But
And
they
not
don't throw it
again.
around.
It's my first dog ever.
Oh.
Yeah, I never had a pet.
Also, great for the microbiome.
Yes,
The
licking it.
dog.
Totally.
Yeah, and it apparently increases neuroplasticity to get a pet.
Yeah.
I will also say I was looking at my dog.
And
This is
your
the last
heart,
thing,
and
and
your
then
heart.
we'll
I
close
It's just
know.
the
it.
best. Yep.
I was looking at that dog, and I was like, "You're like an alive stuffed animal."
I know.
He's so hairy, and I just love him.
Sweethearts and unconditional love.
Unconditional
Good
love.
for everything.
I know.
Also
We gotta figure
pooping,
something out so we can
yeah,
get one.
I think you should figure something out. Yeah.
We're gonna have to do doggy daycare and call someone to walk the dog for the first 6 to 12 months, right?
We'll
All
talk.
right.
Thank you, Turd Nerds.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us today. Stay tuned. We release episodes every 2 weeks.
If you like this episode, please subscribe and don't forget to rate and review us to help spread the Turd Nerd word.